Hey everyone, this is Brian Holmes with the Strategic Living Podcast and BrianHolmes.com. You're listening to my great friend Stephanie O'Brien, and you are about to be moved by purpose.
When the student is ready, the teacher will come. That's what I feel like really happened in my life at that point in time. It's just like all the things that seemed so unclear prior to that moment, seeming to get these answers. So it was really exciting to get that direction. But again, it took time. It wasn't an overnight thing. There were definitely frustrating moments, but anything that's worth having does take time. It's worth the work and the effort that you put forth to make it happen.
Are you longing to know what your purpose is? Are you on the wrong career path? Do you feel like there must be more to life? Don't worry, there's hope. It's time to be moved by purpose. Now your host, Stephanie O'Brien.
You are listening to the Moved by Purpose podcast, and today's guest is Cachet Prescott. She is a resume writer, career strategist, and certified HR professional. Cachet specializes in mid-career professional, managerial, and executive transitions. With career significance at the helm of her work, she empowers women to define career cachet on their terms, take charge of their professional brands, and make their career stories come to life. Welcome to the show, Cachet. I am very honored to have you on today.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm excited for our conversation.
I know that your story and the message that you share will really impact the listeners and really inspire them. So I am excited to get diving in.
Absolutely.
And the first question that I do ask every guest really is, what is your background? Why did you start the business you are running now? And kind of what led up to that?
Well, let me first start by saying that I never intended to go into business at all. My background is primarily in HR and higher education. And so I was always the ever dutiful employee, the loyal employee. I'll get the job done, and I like to be in the behind the scenes person and not necessarily having to run the show. So that was absolutely fine for me. But I am also a military spouse. And when we would move to, our new location would be, there were often less than desirable career opportunities for me. So I decided that, I was tired of having to find a job every time we would move somewhere, because we moved probably about every 2 to 3 years. And It just got really old really fast, having to try to find a job and then usually be overqualified for the jobs and just, having to settle sometimes for positions that just were less than ideal for me. So I decided to kind of become the captain of my own destiny and create my own portable career opportunity. So that's where the whole entrepreneurship thing came onto the scene. And I was afraid, for sure. It was definitely something that I just was really worried about, just the level of responsibility and all that would come with it. But again, I was able to create the opportunity that was ideal for me. I could take it with me, and I'd be doing things that I wanted to do instead of something that other people wanted me to do. And I first went into business doing HR administrative support, virtual assistants. I really liked that kind of work. So it just seemed like a nice natural segue. I already had a client lined up. And so, I just jumped into it without a plan, of course, because that's how you're supposed to do it, without a plan. And I definitely learned a lot along the way. But probably 2 years in, I just started having those feelings of just kind of feeling unfulfilled and still questioning whether or not that's what I was supposed to do. So I was pregnant with my third child at the time, and I decided to take a break from my business for the rest of the year. So I gave myself 6 months to figure out whether I wanted to be in business or not. And if so, did I want to continue with the HR admin virtual assistants, or did I want to go another path? And during that time, I really took the time to do some soul searching and discover, define, and design process that I talk about with my own clients. That's what I did for myself. And it was really an eye-opening experience. And I know oftentimes we don't take that amount of time. I was absolutely lucky that I was able to take that amount of time to kind of figure it out. And, the answer had, of course, always been right underneath my nose. I had always been the go-to person when it came to career-related matters. Usually resume writing, people came to me when they wanted someone to review their resumes or help write their resumes, ask questions about preparing for interviews, something I'd always done and just never even thought about potentially trying to be paid for it. And then during this time of just kind of figuring things out, I finally asked myself, well, why not? Why not you? So I switched gears and decided to go the resume writing, career branding, career coaching route and have not looked back since. I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's kind of the path I took to get to where I am.
That is awesome. And I love that story and that journey. No journey is the same. No person is the same. We all have different backgrounds and different thought processes, different personalities, and just different things going for us. So I just love this question with every guest because it's so inspiring and encouraging to hear everybody has something going for them a little bit differently, and everyone has their own adversity that they have to overcome a little bit differently. So I love how creative you were in that process and how you had enough insight to know that you needed to take time to slow down and to figure it out. A lot of people just know something's wrong, but they don't even know what to do to fix it. And so I'm curious, how did you know what to do to fix it? Was that a process in and of itself?
Absolutely. When I first decided to kind of walk away from my business, I had to let the clients that I was working with at the time know, and they were extremely understanding, that this is something that I needed to do. And during that time, my purpose was to try to just be and see what happens. But I'm usually not the type of person that can just sit there and just not make things happen. So during that time, I actually took on a part-time job. I wasn't even looking for work, but a great opportunity came for me to work at the Small Business Development Center that was in the local area. And I thought it was a great opportunity because I figured, well, if I decide to go back into business, everything I learn here will be great for me to apply in my own business. And so at 7 months pregnant, I went back to work part-time because that's what you should always do when you're about to have a child, go back to work.
Yeah.
And so during that time, though, I think because the pressure was off, I was able to just do some exploring. So you hear this thing where people say, listen to your life. This was one of those cases where I actually listened to my life. What were the things that were important to me? Ideally speaking, if I was going to go into business, if you're going to do it right. So what did I need in a business? What did I need my business to look like for me? What kind of flexibility did I need in my business? I'm a mother of 3 kids and they're 3 young little girls, and oftentimes they get sick or they need me at school or whatever the case is. They have things going on in their lives that I need to be present for. So I just went through the process of just kind of answering those questions, exploring my why. Why did I want to be in business? What were the things I was passionate about? And I just, started writing down all these questions. And also there was a spiritual component to it as well for me. That was really key in kind of solidifying some details for me and really jump starting just the purpose-filled or purpose-aligned career search as opposed to, just going after the prestige of a particular title or something to that degree. It was really more so about, okay, what can I do to serve others? What am I passionate about? Things like that. So I had done the spiritual counseling with a woman that she was amazing at the time. And then in addition to the things that I was doing on my own, that's where the answers started coming about. There's this old saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. That's what I feel like really happened in my life at that point in time. It's just like all the things that seemed so unclear prior to that moment, seeming to get these answers. So it was really exciting to get that direction. But again, it took time. It wasn't an overnight thing. There were definitely frustrating moments, but anything that's worth having does take time. It's worth the work and the effort that you put forth to make it happen.
Absolutely. And you said there's so many things I'm taking notes, and I want to just follow up with a lot of things that you said. One thing I completely agree is that starting a business just for the sake of making money isn't really going to get you through the hard times.
No way.
That purpose and passion, in my opinion, I think it's absolutely critical to have that to get you through the valley days.
For sure.
And if it's all about the money, it's not going to be fulfilling. It's going to burn you out. I don't think you can develop your best work, give your best service, and be your best self when it's only about the money.
And
so
that's exactly why I stepped away from the VA business that I had, because it got to that point where I wasn't enjoying it. I dreaded doing it. And I started doing work that I just wasn't really happy about doing. And it shouldn't be that way at all.
Yeah.
My clients deserve for me to give them my very best. And I got the job done, of course, because I pride my work. I pride the things that I put out there, but still, there wasn't that thrill there that was there initially. And so that was a problem.
Yes. So you make so many good points with that. And first, your clients do deserve someone that is excited, that's enjoying it. You deserve to be excited and enjoy
Definitely.
it. That's another key. Some people just think like, well, this is just how life is. I'm just going to go in, collect the paycheck, whether it's your business or working for someone else. Now, if you created a business or started kind of being self-employed and doing this hustle or working for someone else, it is very possible and often does happen. More times we don't want it to happen, but you can outgrow what you used to enjoy.
Absolutely.
So people panic when that happens. They had a job, they loved it, and now that what Dan Miller calls the divine discontent kind of kicks in.
For sure.
Where, you're just like, I think I'm evolving to something new, or it's time to get out. There's seasons in life, and people forget that there are seasons in life.
And I totally agree. And that's one thing that I talk to people about. When people like you and I talk about this idea of a purpose-driven career or business or whatever the case is, whatever your endeavors are, your purpose changes over time. It's not as if you're going to necessarily have the same purpose for the rest of your life. What you are supposed to be doing now may not be the same thing as what you're supposed to be doing 5, 10, 20 years from now. But that's okay. There's no reason to panic. And I think a lot of people think, once I figure out that answer, this is it. And that's not really the case.
Absolutely. And it's how you align your purpose with your work. That's where it shifts and it changes. People say, oh, I just want to help people. And that's so vague because there's so many, there's so many ways you can do that. There's something that you're doing where you're almost always helping people. I mean, unless you're in that, the black market where then it's just criminal. So. But, even people that do data entry, for me, that just sounds like the last thing on earth I would ever want to do. That's so not a good fit for how I'm wired. And they just think, oh, I'm just plugging in information into a spreadsheet or into a computer, and it's just like this busy, tedious work. And they don't feel like they're helping people. But I'm like, you're helping the business grow. You got to think bigger, broader. Think of the value as a whole. I think some people even in the Christian faith, like the church is considered, is often referenced as a body. So
yes.
Some people are a hand, some people are a finger, some people are a fingernail. And if you hone in on just, if you only fixate on, I'm just a finger, what good am I? It's like, well, actually, you're also connected to a hand, which is connected to an arm, and there is a huge critical purpose that you play. So anyway, that's just a little bit of encouragement for those that are in jobs right now that are listening, that are having a hard time seeing the value that you bring, and you have this desire to help people. Realize that even if you are just plugging data into a computer, you really are helping people. Now you can shift and evolve to something else. And that's what Cachet does. That's what I do. There are many resources and many people here to help you. But anyway, so back to wanting to follow up with you. You said, I just love how you've mentioned as well that you got a job when you were 7 months pregnant.
Yes.
You're a military wife that travels a lot. You have mentioned things that people write in often. And another point too is that you are a mother of 3 small children and running a business. So you're squashing every excuse that I have heard from people And I love that women are convinced that if they're pregnant, they won't be able to get a job, or if they have children, they won't be able to start a business and things like that. So I just love that you are an inspiration to them and proving that that is not true.
Yeah, it absolutely can happen. And I run into that all the time. The only thing that's stopping you, or the only person stopping you, is you. Don't let your particular situation be the reason why you don't apply for a particular job or reach out for a particular opportunity. You just never know. All I could do was try at that point in time when I went to interview for the job. Again, I wasn't looking for a job. Somebody told me about it. I thought it'd be a great opportunity. I applied, and I wasn't sure if I would hear back or not, but I took the chance and I ended up getting the job. So you just never know.
We will be back after this quick commercial break.
Why do some businesses make 7 figures while others barely pay the rent? It's the MG word, Mastermind Group. With a Mastermind Group, you'll get feedback, input, idea sharing, and brainstorming by other business experts. You can't afford to spend $500 on postcards that don't make sales. You can't afford pay-per-click that doesn't deliver. Why learn from trial and error? Why not learn from others that have already been there? This group is for speakers, coaches, writers, and consultants that are hustling to make things happen. How much will this cost you? Just $249 a month. You'll get more support, coaching, and training of a top mastermind group for a fraction of the price. Think you can't afford it? Trust me, $249 is nothing compared to business mistakes that will cost you thousands. Learning from home study programs, books, and consuming free podcasts and blogs will only get you so far. Real success comes with a team of committed members. Don't delay. Apply today and save $50 per month bonus upon acceptance.
Exactly. Taking chances, putting yourself out there. That's how you grow. And whether you want your own business or to have more of a traditional job, that's what it takes. I mean, change is scary, and that's what really trips people up, is they know something's not right. They want it to get better, but they don't know how. And another part of what you have said was that you got help. I mean, you were diligent in doing work yourself and doing the work and processing through the questions. But you said you had a spiritual counselor that helped you, and that was really where you noticed
Absolutely.
The change sped up. And that's what we do. We're coaches, or we help work with the individual who is trying to do it on their own. And it's not that they're not successful, but when you have someone working alongside you, guiding you, it's just a game changer.
It so is. And I really needed that objective perspective. Not someone that was going to tell me what I wanted to hear. Not someone that was too close to the situation where they couldn't be objective. I needed someone outside of my current everyday life that was really going to give me sound advice, direction, just perspective, and make me think. And that was one thing she did. She made me think a lot. And, she gave me homework. She made me look into particular scriptures and memorize scriptures and a number of things. And through that process of really going through those things and asking the questions and reading the books that she suggested to me, it just kind of took the blinders off that I had on at that time. But, it wasn't something that I could have done on my own. I needed someone outside of the situation to guide me through the process.
Absolutely. And I want to be careful. I don't want to offend people, but at least for me, when I tried to do it on my own, there was a combination, like a root cause, toxic roots that were resulting in the behavior and me being stuck or bound by this thing that was not giving me life.
Yeah,
and it was fear for me, and it was pride for me. And it was a combination of both. I was afraid of, well, if I change, what if what I change to is worse? What if where I go and take that risk and step out that I hate it? And then there was also the pride and this is me saying it, was that I could totally do this on my own. I got this. I don't need anybody. And yeah, no. We are not meant to do it alone.
No.
And that goes back, I'll just circle back to that whole, that we are a body. We are meant, it's no secret that I have faith and I walk my faith out in business, life, and my relationships. And first of all, God himself said it's not good for man to be alone. God himself has relationship, the Godhead. So relationships, that should be a pointer that we're not supposed to be trying to figure it out on our own. He gives us other people, as a collaborative effort. We support each other. We build each other up with that. And so I think it is a stance of humility to admit that you can't figure it out on your own. And that's not that you're failing. It's that that's just how it is. We cannot possibly know every answer. So
as much as we'd like to think we do.
Yeah. And, even I learn from my clients. I learn from people just starting off. They have insight and ideas. And, I'm so honored and I love as my relationships grow, as my network grows, it is amazing. And I really admire people that have been in business for 20 something years or are top level executives and have very successful, high level achieving statuses. And they speak to me and yeah, it's a mentorship relationship, but they turn around and they say, I learned from this conversation too. I learn from you too. I grow from what you bring as well. And so they're not so arrogant to think that they got it all going on and they can't learn from anybody that doesn't have anything close to 20 years of experience. So yeah, that's just, humility is a really important stance to have really in all of your affairs and interactions. And for those that are really wanting to either build a business or to maybe get promoted or to grow in your career, I think having that teachability and the humility to reach out and to seek mentors, coaches, advisors, counselors, whoever, and to really help them pour into you so you can have a full cup and give. And that's really where the leadership comes from, and that's really where you'll see growth.
And that's so true. Even now, I know I can't go this alone. I've enlisted the services of a business coach because even though I have done business consulting, I work in business development, I know that stuff. I still don't know everything there is to know. And there's someone that can give me direction in my own business that I might not be able to see because I'm so in the situation. So I definitely have no problem with enlisting the help of a coach. I also try to surround myself by like-minded accountability partners, someone that is going to hold me to whatever I say I'm going to do. That person checks on me week to week. We check on each other and just let the other person know, this is what I have going on. This is what my goals are for this week. And then we touch bases the following week to see what actually came of that conversation. I need it because, I have 1,000,001 ideas. So it helps to have somebody kind of reel me in and just kind of tell me about myself when I'm just going off on tangents. And just being around other people that are in the world of business. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be another coach, but other people that can just provide me with perspective about their journeys. And so I can learn from them and what they've done and the things that I may want to avoid and, or just about new things that they're making use of that I may want to make use of in my own business. There are a number of avenues in which you can learn material. And I am an avid podcast listener. So I listen to them every single day. My kids even know the intros and outros to certain podcasts because I listen to them every day. But again, that's a way that I learn. I'm never so far ahead that I've learned everything there is to learn. There's always something to learn. And I am excited when I pick up a new nugget that I can share with someone else or, get a new tidbit that I wasn't even aware of. So
Yes. I call myself a podcast junkie, so I love them. They're great ways to learn. And that's really when people ask me, well, how do you know so much? How did you learn so much, especially since you didn't get a degree? And I'm like, oh, gosh, I probably listen to 2 hours of podcast a day. So,
I mean, really,
you know,
it truly, it's Podcast University. I am a lifelong student of it because, there are so many different topics that you can indulge in and listen to and get perspective on. And I just think it's a great resource for people to take advantage of.
Yes. And it's free.
Exactly. So, you can't beat that.
It's free education. You really can't complain about that. So, Cachet, it has been such an honor to have you. I've really enjoyed this conversation. I would love to know, what is a resource that you use that is just something that you cannot live without in your business or life?
Oh, geez.
Or
Well, generally speaking, Dropbox is my go-to resource because I am able to just access my files wherever I am. And because we move around so much and we have life on the go with my household, it is so nice to be able to pull up a document if I need it wherever I am, whether that be sitting in front of my child's school, waiting for her to get out of school, or I'm actually here in my office. I can pull up whatever I need in that moment. And so it's very helpful. And Evernote as well, because, I scan business cards in there and, if I have a thought, I type it up really quick and put it in Evernote. So those two things are must-haves for me.
yes. And to put you on the spot,
Alrighty.
I didn't prepare you in the interview questions in advance, but what would be, I guess, just thinking of the people, the audience really that this resonates with, the show, are people that just like you know how it is. You're just knowing that it's time to move on to something else, but you're not clear on what that is. What is your encouragement to them?
First and foremost, I want to just say that it is possible for you to do work that you're happy about, that you're passionate about, and that fulfills you. But first, I would just suggest just simply exploring your why. Why are you having these negative feelings about your particular situation? What's the root of those feelings? Where's it coming from? Explore that first before you make any moves, any sudden moves. Explore your why. It could just be a matter of you being bored with a particular project, maybe, or you just might need movement and just a change of scenery and doing the same thing that you're doing, maybe just for a different company. Or it can be something as extreme as a career reinvention or doing something to that effect. But you just need to make sure you explore your why before you jump into anything and do anything drastic. But it absolutely can happen. I am living proof of the fact that you may be in a place where you have, relationships. You may be a spouse. You may be involved. You may have children. You may have a whole bunch of demands that are pulling on you in life. But you have to take the time to kind of prioritize things and make time for the things that are important to you. And if career is one of those things, like it is for me, it's very important to me. You have to just kind of make sure that your career fits into your life, and instead of you trying to fit your life into your career. And so I definitely just suggest take the time to think about it and then come up with a plan to move forward. Don't be afraid. Don't let the fear factor deter you, because like I said before, you're the only one that can stand in your way. No one else can do that. And what's for you is for you.
Amazing. Fit your career into your life, not your life around your career. That is very, very good advice. I love that. So where can people connect with you, Cachet?
Well, you can find me at either careercachet.com or cachetprescott.com. It goes to the same website, but you can use either one of those. And I'm on social media as well. Twitter is at Career Cachet as well. Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff.
All right. Keeping it the same across the board.
I'm trying.
Makes it easy for people to find you. Yes. Well, awesome. It was so good. I loved your wisdom. You had such great insight, and I know that those listening have just found so much value, as I have. from your story and your wise tips and suggestions. Thank you for inspiring us.
And thank you for the opportunity, Stephanie. The only thing that's stopping you, or the only person stopping you, is you. Don't let your particular situation be the reason why you don't apply for a particular job or reach out for a particular opportunity. You just never know.
There you have it. That was Cachet Prescott over at cachetprescott.com. That is CACHETPRESCOTT. If you're on the move, like most of you guys are, make sure you come on over to movedbypurpose.net. Search for Cachet's name in the search bar, and her episode will pop right up. And you can click the links to go over to connect with her. If you liked this episode, I would love if you could leave a comment or subscribe to stay connected with the latest news, get early bird registration rates and exclusive offers just for the subscribers. Let me know how you're doing, any questions that you have, a potential guest that you think would be a good fit, or just say hello. I love to hear from you. Also, I would love if you would subscribe, rate, and write a review in iTunes. This will help me reach more people and help more people. I just love to have impact. As you know, I love to inspire others. And if you find that this episode would be beneficial for someone that seems to be stuck in discontent in their career, make sure you share this episode, because Cachet is a great person to connect with. And as I try to sign off on all of my episodes, if you feel stuck, overwhelmed, and you just don't know what to do or where to begin, just get out there and do something. And I'll talk to all of you next week.